have nothing to do with me nor Kurt. Them bitches was coming at you about your because they had too much ammo for you.
Don't act like you didn't say that.
I wasn't there. And I damn sure ain't gonna come to somebody about they awesome.
One could feel the tension in the room. The crew was there, the lights were bright, and the cameras rolled, but beneath the surface of what was supposed to be a normal filming of the well-known reality program, a storm was building. However, Yandy and Rasheeda seemed to be alone in a long-brewing situation as everything around them seemed to fade into the background. Struggle. Yandy was always a tough woman, but she felt like she would lose her temper because of the pressure of the situation tonight. Mendices, who had always been in the middle, had never been more private or dramatic, as it seemed like everything was falling apart in front of the cameras. For many years, Rasheeda had been a constant in Yandy's life as a companion and confidant. However, their relationship with Mendices had always been complicated. Their close bond and common history were indisputable. But things started to change when Mendices started dating Yandy. Rasheeda initially tried to remain supportive, but she quickly began to doubt Mendices' loyalty and morality. Yandy felt the fire building in her chest as she thought about the decisions he was making, especially now that the cameras were recording every second the gloves were being taken off. Rasheeda's remarks sliced through the air like a knife. This was genuine. Their friendship had been characterized by more than simply the typical lighthearted banter or joking. Rasheeda's contempt for Mendices' decisions had developed over time, and she was now open about it. As though her relationship with Mendices were a personal betrayal, Yandy seemed to be the object of every glance and remark. Will you really stand up for him, Yandy? Will you continue to act as if he is your rescuer in spite of everything he has done? There was surprise in Rasheeda's voice. Even though Yandy's anger was churning, she kept her cool because she knew that this was not the time to let her feelings run amok. The hurt was still there, burning deep. It felt like an attack on Rasheeda, as though she were doubting her judgment, her decisions, and everything that had brought her to this point. Why do you keep making comments about Mendices, Yandy? Rasheeda's assertion stung. Rasheeda had always been prepared to point the finger at Mendices' shortcomings and hold him responsible for their issues. You're not the one in this relationship. I'm the one who has to deal with his baggage, mistakes, and past. Don't sit here and act like you know what's best for me. Despite her power, the frustration she had been suppressing for too long made her voice shake. Although Yandy had already reached her breaking point and wasn't done yet, Rasheeda rolled her eyes and scoffed. When her heart was on the line, this was no time to back down. Although you've always had opinions, you've never been in our position. You've been condemning him and me while standing by, said Yandy. You behave as though you are well-informed, but you are unaware of the experiences we have shared or the forgiveness I have had to provide. It got louder with every word. There was a great deal of tension between the two women. Unresolved problems and verbal animosity pervaded the air. The competition, the hidden jealousy, and the way Rasheeda's presence in Mendices' life had always hung over Yandy's relationship with him like a shadow were the deeper issues that had been simmering for years. It was no longer only about men, Yandy thought. Rasheeda's eyes widened as her face twisted in anger. She struck back. You believe that you are the only one who has had to cope with Mendices' mess. You believe that I have no idea what it's like to be in a relationship with someone who makes mistakes all the time. He has harmed us both. Therefore, I'm sick of you acting like he's changed while allowing him to bring you down, Yandy. For a moment, Yandy felt the ground shift beneath her as the words struck her like a blow to the face. She wanted to strike out and scream at Rasheeda for all the pain she had caused, but she refused to give anyone the joy of seeing her because the world was watching and the cameras were on them. Break, but on the inside, everything appeared to be collapsing. Mendices' errors were too much for Yandy to handle. Yandy had been struggling to keep things together for a long time, but now that their argument was getting more heated and Rasheeda's persistent meddling, along with the drama that had always surrounded them, got to be too much, it felt like the dam was going to break. The crew, aware that they were watching a relationship collapse, a power struggle, and something far larger than a dispute between two women, waited in the background while the charges were made, unsure of how to step in. The battle for respect, which had been simmering for years, finally lacked a definitive conclusion. Yandy flowed. For Yandy, the actual battle had just begun, but the fallout was still being recorded on camera. It wasn't only about Rasheeda or Mendices, it was also about figuring out how to deal with the insanity that had taken over her life and if she could trust anyone again, even herself. It appears like Yandy has given up trying to keep her family together. Rumor has it that Mendices is tired of referring to his resigned true love, Erica, as his wife and has finally made amends with her. There is growing anxiety about the fact that some individuals are even thinking that they may already be married. It's no secret that Yandy's pride is the only thing keeping her married, and ever since Mendices moved in with Erica, it appears like she's lost all emotional control. In addition to scolding Mendices for hurting her feelings, Yandy is making it clear to Erica that she needs to break up with her partner or else it will be there when they next meet. We all thought Yandy would be able to enjoy her marriage after all the sacrifice and hard work she had put in while he was incarcerated. Take a seat and allow me to explain if you haven't figured it out yet. Mendices was released from prison earlier this year after being imprisoned for drug-related offenses. With Mendices' help, Yandy remained strong and handled everything by herself, doing everything in her power to maintain the family's unity. She even went to therapy to address the issues in their relationship. In case you missed it, Mendices chose to focus on Yandy's fiercest enemy, Erica, rather than expressing gratitude to Yandy for keeping the family together. They always cheat when they do it. If you have been following the love triangle between Mendices, Erica, and Yandy, you have likely noticed that Yandy has been living in denial about the state of her marriage for years. Even though she knows that Mendices is still seeing Erica and hasn't been completely honest with her, her arrogance and vanity keep her from establishing limits with him. Yandy thinks she is the sole woman in his life because she is skilled at making everything seem wonderful, even if we all know that it isn't. Mendices and Erica had been together for a while before Yandy entered the picture, demonstrating how much Mendices loves his first baby mama. According to Samantha, Erica was one of the few women he truly cared about. Erica claimed to have lived with Mendices, exchanged passports, traveled with him, and even had the chance to meet his entire family. Even though she was faithful to him and assisted in raising his first child without Samantha, he wanted someone with stability and a clear plan for the future when things weren't going well. This is how he met Yandy, and they were married despite the fact that he was Erica's spouse. Insiders claim that Mendices left their house with Erica and broke up with Yandy in order to restore their relationship now that he is free from prison and working. Since Mendices handled all of Yandy's problems, controlled her, and became involved in baby mama drama, I genuinely don't think she deserves the abuse she's receiving. He told her without hesitation that he was married for obligation and not love. He also acknowledged that if their roles had been reversed, he never would have supported her or kept the family together the way she did for him. She should never have become engaged in this, tolerated Mendices' mother's contempt, and worked so hard to care for his children.